Wolverine. James Logan Howlett. Born with a powerful healing factor and razor-sharp bone claws, the mutant Logan became an unstoppable living weapon after being infused with indestructible adamantium by a secret organization, Weapon X. But Wolverine has long proven that he is no longer an emotionless war puppet. Reborn from betrayal and pain, he now fights for the shared justice of both humans and mutants. Now Logan must thwart Doom 2099's schemes while ensuring the safety of the mutants on Krakoa. Even in such a distant future, Wolverine remains a master of combat. Another one, Freddy. Heavy on the orchid nectar. You got it, Logan, said Fred Dukes, the bartender of Green Lagoon, a secluded watering hole nestled into the heart of Krakoa, the living island that served as a safe haven for mutants from across time and space. The massive man plucked a beautiful tropical flower from a tiny garden behind the bar. He squeezed it in his oversized hand, causing the strange pink liquid contained within its delicate blossom to trickle into a tall glass. Mixing in a few other ingredients, he covered the glass and gave it a quick shake before sliding it across the bar to his most loyal customer. Not used to you ordering off the organic, Fred said with a smile, noting that Logan's taste usually tended to be more traditional. Yeah, well, I didn't come here to forget anything tonight, bub, Logan said, gazing at the nectar swirling in his glass. For once, I want to remember every detail. And I would like to hear them as well, a voice said as another man approached the bar. If you are willing to share, my friend. Logan looked up from his drink to see one of the greatest foes he'd ever faced, the mutant master of magnetism, known as Magneto, taking a seat next to him. If this were a few years ago, Logan would have already popped his razor-sharp adamantium claws and taken the first swing, but these were strange times. And for a man who had lived a life as long and as eventful as Wolverine, that was certainly saying something. Logan was used to the unexpected, but everything had turned upside down when the chronal disruption known as the time string entanglement started wiping out realities. Krakoa may have been home to some of the most powerful mutants on the planet, but that still wasn't enough to keep it safe from the cosmic catastrophe's devastating effects. The island and its inhabitants found themselves swept up in a powerful temporal storm and nearly became lost in time and space. Aurora Monroe, the X-Men called Storm, managed to navigate the island safely through the tempest, but when the danger had finally passed, their new reality began to sink in. Krakoa had not only been transported to a different dimension, but a whole new era as well, the year 2099. Always wanted to seize an opportunity, Magneto took advantage of this crisis, but not in the way most might have expected. Instead of trying to subjugate the unsuspecting humans of the future world, he instead opened the gates of Krakoa to all mutants who had become displaced by the time string entanglement. His efforts had already earned him the respect of many, and the ire of many more. Magneto didn't care what the world beyond Krakoa thought of him, nor did he have any interest in mankind's petty squabbles. All he cared about was the safety of his own people and of Krakoa. But Logan knew that no man, or mutant, was truly an island. Still got your cape in a bunch that I've been running with the humans, Eric? Logan asked, taking a swig of his drink and sneering as the festive, fruity flavor danced across his tongue. There are still so many mutants who need our help, Logan, Magneto responded. You should really be focused on them. Our people aren't the only ones in trouble, Logan responded gruffly. Just cause most folks in this day and age don't seem to be born with the X gene anymore, it doesn't mean we can ignore the threats they're up against. Helping innocents is one thing, Magneto said, his tone becoming more judgmental. But you're out there fighting the powers that be alongside some sort of human liberation front? Your careless actions could put a target on Krakoa and all those who came here for protection. Funny, Logan said, dismissing Magneto's concern. Since when have you been one to stand by and do nothing? Since the well-being of our entire species became mine to safeguard, Magneto replied. Fair enough, Logan said. But believe it or not, I'm doing what I do to keep Krakoa safe as well. From goose-steppers like the Public Eye, from corporations like Alchemax, and especially from that metal mass maniac Doom. Magneto paused, knowing his companion was speaking the truth. Somehow, Victor Von Doom was still alive and thriving in this area. The King of Latveria had become more powerful than ever, both as a political leader and as a sorcerer. It was even rumored that Doom himself had kick-started the time string entanglement, though there were conflicting reports as to whether it had been the Doom of this reality or another of his multiversal variants. Still, Magneto knew it was only a matter of time before Doom set his sights on Krakoa and the growing army of mutant soldiers for whom it had become a sanctuary. Perhaps Logan's actions were more justified than Magneto was willing to admit. "Your allies in this resistance," Magneto said, considering his words carefully as to not send the Wolverine into a berserker's rage. "Are you sure they can be trusted?" "With my life," Logan said without pause. "There may not be many of us fighting this fight, but the ones we got are the best at what they do." "And the hottest, am I right?" Fred chimed in unexpectedly from behind the bar. "That Black Widow was always smoking. For a human, I mean. But then again, I guess she gotta be what, like, over 100 by now? So maybe just forget I said that." Logan had left through a Krakoan gate to rendezvous with Natasha Romanoff in Tokyo. The Red Room, which the Black Widow was now using as her own personal spy network, had intercepted rumors that someone was planning hits on major crime organizations, including the Yoshida Corporation. They needed to know if the person targeting these groups was a potential ally or yet another enemy to add to their list. But when Wolverine arrived at their normal meeting spot, Natasha was nowhere to be found. He tried to contact her on the Resistance's secure comm channel, but she had gone radio silent. That wasn't like her. After digging for intel and making a few minor threats, Logan learned that Natasha had got an incredible lead on an ultra top secret Mercury level asset being stored at Alchemax's Tokyo headquarters. Whatever it was, she must have realized that her window to recover it was extremely short if she was willing to risk going in without backup. Logan raced through the back alleys of Tokyo towards the Alchemax Tower, but he wasn't fast enough. Before he could reach his destination, a powerful explosion lit up the night sky and shook the city streets. Worried about Natasha's safety, Logan doubled his pace, but instead of finding the Resistance's most elite spy, he instead found himself face to face with one of the most legendary warriors to ever grace the field of battle, Steve Rogers. "Captain freaking America!" Fred blurted out, snapping Logan out of his story. "You gotta be kidding me!" "No joke, bub," Logan said, but the Boy Scout wasn't alone. Logan continued his tale, saying how Cap's signature red, white, and blue uniform was badly scorched, as if he had just walked out of the inferno at the Alchemax building. To make matters worse, he was now surrounded by a small squadron of Doombots that were all aiming their weapons at him. Logan wasted no time, popping his claws and leaping into the fray. As he furiously slashed, reducing Doombots to scrap, Logan never once questioned if he was on the right side of the battle. After all, if there was anyone who could be trusted without hesitation, no matter the timeline, it was Captain America. Cap didn't have his shield on him, but that didn't stop him from joining the fight. The super soldier was one of the best hand-to-hand combatants who'd ever lived, and even a seasoned warrior like Logan couldn't help but be impressed by Cap's strength and skill as he delivered blow after blow to the mechanical menaces. Once Wolverine had sliced the head clean off the final Doombot's armored shoulders, he asked Cap about Natasha. Cap confirmed that she was the one who rescued him and that she was safe. Logan warned that she would not stay that way if they stuck around much longer. Cap agreed, noting that he had only just been enthralled in this strange new world, and he already had Alchemax, the public eye, and now Doom himself looking to get their hands on him. "I owe you my life, soldier," Cap said upon his recovery. "This may not be the war I was made to fight in, but I'd be honored to join your resistance and help you turn the tide against this Doom fella, or any other fascist forces trying to crush your people beneath their collective boot heel." "Thanks for the offer," Logan said, but that mess back at Alchemax probably set off public eye alarms across Tokyo, and beyond. The Resistance is going to need you to keep a low profile for a while, and as great as having Captain America on our team might sound, it's bound to draw a bit too much unwanted attention. "I understand," Cap replied. Do you happen to know anywhere else I can go? Preferably somewhere far away enough to keep everyone safe? There aren't many places left on this planet that aren't under constant surveillance, Logan replied. But that notion gave him another idea. What if the place he sent Cap wasn't on this planet at all? Tell me, bub, Logan continued. You ever heard of Wakanda? The African nation? Cap asked, instantly seeing the merit in Logan's suggestion. They managed to hide their presence perfectly during the war. I doubt anybody would be able to find me there. And the good news is, I happen to be close friends with King T'Chaka. My shield was even forged from vibranium, a rare Wakandan metal. I wonder if they could make me a new one. Hate to break it to you, Logan said with a smile, but T'Chaka ain't the king anymore. And Wakanda's a long way from Africa these days. Logan informed Cap of how the Wakandans had set off to the stars in search of a true source of vibranium, and had since built themselves an intergalactic empire. Cap seemed dismayed, but all hope wasn't lost. The current king of Wakanda, T'Challa, had been attempting to make strategic allegiances to battle against the darkness he saw on the horizon. Ah, yes, Magneto interjected. T'Challa came to me seeking Krakoa's aid, but we were not yet ready to commit to such a partnership. Yeah, well, he came to Natasha too, Logan said, and she was smart enough to take him up on his offer. T'Challa had provided the Resistance with a single high-tech Kimoyo bead containing a special code that could be used at any Wakandan embassy to open a passageway across the stars, straight to the heart of the intergalactic empire of Wakanda. With Natasha still off the grid after the Alchemax incident, it was up to Logan to escort Cap to the Wakandan embassy in Tokyo. As much as Logan would have loved to carve a path through some public eye soldiers along the way, the two heroes managed to use their impressive stealth skills to get to their final destination undetected. When they arrived, the embassy was empty. The two followed T'Challa's direction and located the sculpture of Bashenga, the first king of Wakanda. As they stood in front of the statue, Logan activated the Kimoyo bead, and a portal instantly appeared. Cap gave Logan a salute and thanked him for his service and stepped through, confident that he could handle whatever awaited him on the other side. With Cap safely delivered, Logan knew he had to return his attention to finding Natasha. But not before stopping back home for a quick refresher, Logan concluded, finishing off the last drops of his pink liquid in his glass and wiping his stubble-covered chin with his forearm. A fascinating tale, Magneto said, but what I find truly refreshing is the notion that perhaps we have as many friends in this world as we do foes. Want me to fill you up? Fred asked, hoping that another round might come with another exciting story about Logan's adventures. Logan stood up and glanced down the trail that led out of the Green Lagoon. He knew that he had to get back into the field sooner rather than later. Natasha was counting on him, and he had a feeling that it wouldn't be long before he crossed paths with Captain America again. Sure, bub, Logan said, reaching back and pulling his cowl up to cover his eyes. But you better make this one for the road. Want me to fill you up? Fred asked, hoping that another round might come with another exciting story about Logan's adventures. Logan stood up, glanced down the trail that led out of the Green Lagoon. He knew that he had to get back into the field sooner rather than later. Natasha was counting on him, and he had a feeling that it wouldn't be long before he crossed paths with Captain America again. Sure, bub, Logan said, reaching back and pulling his cowl up to cover his eyes. But you better make this